You're listening to Heritage Radio Network.
This year felt like the moment we couldn't look away anymore. Farmers were hit from every direction: labor shortages, climate extremes, cuts to programs that helped them and their communities survive. And families felt the ripple effects immediately. Hunger grew, food banks struggled, and the cost of feeding a family kept climbing. These were not random events. They were signals, flashing, consistent signals, telling us that the food system is under real pressure. The future we've been warned about isn't coming someday. It's here. And as we move toward 2026, we need clarity. We need connection. And we need a real sense of where we're heading and what we can do. So today, we're going to talk about what this year revealed and what next year is really going to look like. Welcome to One Bite is Everything. This is the show where we peel back the layers of your food to help you see the bigger world behind everything you eat. We often start right at the center of your dinner plate and go from there to the world of soil, labor, climate, policy, community, and the people fighting every day to keep us fed. And this year, more than any year in recent memory, showed us just how fragile that world really is. Farmers struggled through extreme heat in one region and devastating floods in another. Labor shortages forced crops to stay in the ground. Programs like the LFPA that helped farmers and food banks connect were cut. SNAP dollars, some of the most powerful economic tools that we have, became less stable, and hunger quietly rose, especially among children. So today I want to walk through the top shifts that shaped 2025 and the deeper shifts coming in 2026 that will affect all of us. But I also want to talk about the bright spots, because there are bright spots and they matter. Let's get into it. From the troubles we can see to the future of food. This year, farmers told the truth in a way the rest of the country couldn't ignore. They talked about losing entire harvests to heat waves and to storms. They talked about buying feed for the first time because their pastures dried up. They talked about watching costs rise while income stayed flat. They talked about labor, the number one issue for many farms. Without a reliable, legal, stable workforce, whole sections of the food supply chain collapse. And this year, we saw exactly that. Crops unpicked, dairies understaffed, vegetable farms scaling back planting because they simply couldn't harvest what they grew. And as these pressures piled up, families across the country felt it, not always dramatically, but quietly, in higher grocery bills, shorter store shelves, or the realization that certain foods just weren't available. Meanwhile, hunger in America rose to levels we haven't seen in years. 1 in 5 children now experiences food insecurity at some point during the year. That means they're hungry. Think about that. In the richest country in the world, millions of kids are going to school on empty stomachs and coming home to pantries that don't have enough in them. And here's something many people don't realize. SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or food stamps, is one of the most powerful economic engines in our food system. Every SNAP dollar generates about $1.50 to nearly $2 in local economic activity. That means when SNAP is cut or unstable, small businesses lose revenue, local grocery stores lose customers, farmers lose buyers, and communities feel it. So when we talk about hunger, we're not just talking about charity. We're talking about economic health. 2025 made that very clear. We're entering a period where climate isn't a distant abstraction. It's a daily disruptor. Heat waves, late frosts, sudden floods, droughts, wildfires. All of these make it harder to grow the foods that we depend on. Some food we love may become more expensive or harder to find. Coffee, almonds, wine grapes, certain vegetables. These are already showing strain. Farmers are adapting, but adaptation has a cost, and small farms can't shoulder that cost alone. One of the most hopeful trends is the rise of women leading regenerative and resilient agriculture across the country. Women farmers, ranchers, seed keepers, educators, they are building the kinds of community-based food systems that help regions withstand shocks. They are teaching soil health, organizing micro-distribution networks, running small but mighty operations that feed whole neighborhoods. If you want to see resilience in action, look for women in agriculture. They are pushing the future forward. Another major trend is the rise of blue foods, seafood, sea vegetables, shellfish, which are incredibly nutrient-dense, lower carbon, and in many cases, more climate resilient. Blue foods aren't a niche anymore. They're becoming a central piece of the conversation about how we feed a warming planet. But access still isn't equal, and sustainability claims still need scrutiny. Still, this trend has enormous potential. And then there's flavor. Flavor isn't just a pleasure, although it is. Flavor is information. Better tasting food almost always comes from healthier soil, regenerative practices, diversity in crops, better stewardship of land and water. We're seeing diners, home cooks, and entire communities rediscover that the foods grown with care simply taste better. Flavor is pulling us back toward quality, and in doing so, back toward better farming. The biggest change isn't in climate or policy. It's in us. More people are asking where their food comes from. More people are choosing one ingredient to buy locally that they never bought locally before. More people are showing up for farmers, clearing farmer wish lists, supporting grants, joining Walk a Mile in a Farmer's Boots events in local farmers markets across the country, reading labels, and rethinking convenience culture. Reconnection is happening. Not perfectly, not everywhere, but it's happening. And it is the single biggest indicator of a healthy food system ahead. Regenerative agriculture is scaling from the ground up, not because a policy forced it, because farmers are experimenting. They're trying cover crops, compost systems, rotational grazing, low-till methods, biodiversity plantings. The changes are small, but they're adding up. And your support through grants and wish lists is helping farmers take steps that they couldn't take alone. Communities are stepping up. I see it in every corner of the country. Wish lists that farmers put up are clearing within hours. Neighbors are showing up to help rebuild farms after fires or storms. Kids are using the local food challenge to learn what grows where they live. People are choosing just one local ingredient and realizing that it tastes better than anything from a national brand. This is community food security, and it's becoming more and more prevalent. These small shifts can really lead to big outcomes. A farmer fixes a greenhouse door and suddenly their entire season improves. A family meets their farmer and suddenly their kids want to try new vegetables. A school district adds one local food day per month and tens of thousands of dollars flow back into their own region. Small shifts matter, and they stack. Here's what this means for you. You matter in this system. Your choices matter. They're not always perfect, but they're meaningful. Eating locally doesn't have to be all or nothing. It can start with one ingredient. one farm stand visit, one conversation, $1 donated to a farmer grant, one moment of curiosity. And those moments change things for farmers, for communities, for the next generation, for you, and for the future of our food system. I think it's starting to be on the tip of everyone's tongue. Keep your friends close and your farmers closer. Thanks for listening to One Bite is Everything, the podcast that connects every bite you take to the bigger world. If today's conversation sparks something for you, remember, the stories that you hear here don't end when the episode does. Through the For Farmers movement, these stories become action, supporting small farmers and bringing eaters like you closer to the people who make your food possible. Learn more at forfarmersmovement.com. You can also follow along for more facts, red flags, and tips on Instagram at XOXOFarmGirl. I know I ask you this with every episode, and I'm really hoping that you will go and leave a 5-star rating and a review for the show to help some other people like you find it. And I thought I would read one of the recent reviews that someone left in case it inspires you to do the same. It says this: "In today's age, there are so many differing opinions about our country's food system, production, and agriculture. It's quite overwhelming. I'm thankful for Dana shedding so much light on the problems and questions that so many of us have, bringing different experts on to share their knowledge. I especially love that she gives actual background facts and history throughout each episode. Dana also gives so many small farmers and small business owners in ag a voice and to share their perspectives and the difficulties that so many of them face on the day-to-day. So many Americans have no idea where and how their food is produced, and that is such a shame. She reminds us all how important the farmers are who grow our food. Thank you." That's a really nice review, and I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. It would be great if you would leave a rating and review in Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to this episode. And I just wanted to mention that next week, I have an awesome interview that has really sparked some new thinking for me, and I'm excited to share it with you. So stay tuned for that. Also, a shout out to Russell Chapa, who does the sound design and original music for this show and always makes it better. Thank you so much, Russ. Well, this is One Bite is Everything, and I'm your host, Dana DePrima. I'll see you here next week, and until then, eat like it matters, because it does.